Welcome back, everybody. So today I've been doing some searching, trying to find something for a project, and today I came up with a flower project. Seeing as how we're in springtime or coming up to spring, video I saw and some stuff on Pinterest was actually book page flowers, but I had this old comic book and I'm a big nerd, so I figure, hey, why not try it out with something and give it a little bit of color. I think it turned out really cool. Stay tuned if you want to see how to make it, and this will be my second attempt, so hopefully the second one comes out just as good, so stick with me. Okay, here are the supplies you will need. Depending on what you do for your stem, I ordered this called floral stem wire, and the wire I ended up getting was a lot smaller than I thought. The pictures made it look much bigger. I didn't really think about paying any attention to the gauge size. I just looked at the pictures and that was a mistake. So what I ended up doing is taking 3 of these and then twisting them together in my drill, which is not that big of a deal, but I'd rather just not have to do that extra step. And then I got some of this floral tape. I don't know if this stuff is normally supposed to be really not sticky, but this stuff is very dry, so I don't know if that's old or if that's just how it's supposed to be, but this is what I use to wrap my flower with, and it turned out pretty good, but it'd be a lot easier if that stuff was sticky. Or you can buy some of these that is a lot bigger gauge, which would work better anyways, and it has that kind of finish on it, so I might look into that. Scissors for cutting our paper, and then something like I got this little screwdriver, or maybe I have this file on hand, or something about that size, like maybe a toothpick or something like that, to help with rolling of the edges of the petals, and you'll see that later. And of course, our paper. Whatever you want to use for your paper, figure that out, and then we'll get to the next step. Alright, so you're going to take your whatever piece of paper you're going to use, and then you're going to cut it into, in my case, I used 4 by 4 for the dimensions, 4 inches by 4 inches. Now, it could be smaller, it could be bigger, but for the most part, I think you could really make this work any size. We're going to go ahead and fold these now, and what you want to do is you're going to fold them 3 times, corner to corner, like you're making the little paper footballs. I don't remember if anybody remembers doing that, but where I was from, that's what we always used to play, paper football. It doesn't have to be exact, it's just got to be pretty close, because once you cut it out, the edges you won't really see any difference. 1 fold, 2, and 3. And then from this point, we're going to go ahead and cut. I like the one video I saw where the lady explained, like you're cutting out an ice cream cone, so that's what it looks like when you're done. So we're going to go ahead and cut those out, and then get to the next step. Alright, we got these cut out. Now we have to also cut off the end of the flower. You don't want to cut too far up, because then it's going to leave you with a big hole in the middle. You have to kind of eyeball it, but I mean somewhere in there, nothing drastic. That is what you are left with. Now we have to unfold all of them, so we're going to cut off 1 on 1. And our second one, there's going to be 2, and 3 on the third one. It makes it kind of easy too with the way that you fold it. There's a little line on each one, so it makes it easy to follow along. So these 4 here are going to be glued the same way, edge to edge. See, this one's going to be this is the tough one, but Here, let me do this one a little bit easier to see. Like so. I'm going to glue all 4 of these together, and then these are going to be kind of rolled up into like a cone, and that's going to be the center stem. This glue is what I used for the first flower, and it works fine, and I think something like Elmer's glue would work too. This glue, it's a little bit more expensive per ounce, I guess you'd say, but this stuff dries really good. It's got good adhesion, and just like put it together and it's stuck, so you don't have to worry about it kind of peeling apart and re-tacking it. But I like it. It works pretty good, and it's got 2 different sizes of applicator, depending on if you're doing a bigger area or not. That works good for that. But for this, we just need a little nozzle. I'm gonna go ahead and glue all these edges up, and then get to the thing, you know. Center. We'll deal with them later. It doesn't take a lot. So I noticed on this flower, I just did it by mistake, but it turned out fine. To glue it so that the picture or design is facing up as opposed to the text the other way, because you can kind of see the text here a little bit, but when you're looking at it, you want to be able to see all the comic book designs and stuff this way. So okay, so while these are drying, go ahead and do these 2. So basically all you want to do is roll it up relatively tight, but also try to make it slightly tapered if possible. Something like that. And you want to just tack the outside, because if you glued the whole thing from the inside out, it would basically close off the center, and then you won't be able to get your stem through. About like that. And this one is going to be similar, but it's going to open up a lot more, because we're trying to get that blooming effect, if you will. Okay. Alright, I'm going to glue it before I lose it. Oh! I ripped it! Thankfully this is on the inside, and you won't notice it too much. We're good to go! Maybe. Okay. Now I don't think it's absolutely necessary, actually I still need it, to do this, but I found it helped a little bit. So get your little glue gun out, and I just put some glue on the end of the stem to help just kind of, I don't know what you call it, create like a ball on the end of here, so it won't just completely slide out. We're gonna glue this on anyway, but at least with the hot glue it's not gonna completely fall out. I don't want to put a ton on there, otherwise it'll get all over the paper. Like something like that. And I'm gonna wreck everything here today, folks. We're wrecking everything. Some glue at the bottom. Repeat the process. And if some of it kind of comes out, you'll see. Well, like it progressively kind of comes out the bottom of each other one, depending on how far or how big the hole is. So it kind of depends on where you need to put your glue as well. So it's one kind of like, oops, that's one missing one here. Oh no! Back up a step. So this is fine. We can leave that go because we're not going to have to do anything with that. But the other 4, now that these are dry, so we're going to take our rolling tool, whatever you have available, toothpick, whatever. So You're going to take your piece and we're just going to roll the edges, give that edge a little bit of a curl. This one is a little bit harder just because of the tightness of it, but on these you'll see it gives it a lot more rounded edge. Gotta be careful because obviously it's paper, so you don't want to do it too tight or go down too far, like past that point, and then you'll rip the paper. But over. And if it's not quite bent enough, you can always go back over if you want. Like that. So, take that. Like this one's a little bit harder, but like on these, you can just glue it on the paper here. For this one, you kind of have to get the top one to, but not necessarily have to. And just continue gluing it. So like this one, you can just glue it on the inside. Like so. Try to get like your pedal here to fill the gap on that side. Gives it a little bit of that overlapping. You don't want them all like in a row, you know. Cats are destroying the house, and I put the wrong flower on first. So I was thinking about something else. No worries. I gotta lay these out better so the next time I'm not gluing everything up haphazardly. Yeah, that looks a lot better. It's like a little bit smaller than the other one. There we go. And the final one. There. That looks pretty good. I think that turned out better than the first one. It's a lot more full. It looks pretty darn good. Wait for that to dry, and then we can go ahead and wrap the tape. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and glue, try hot gluing it on here, but it keeps losing its tack for some reason, so I can't get this to start. Stay. Once you get it to go, it's fine. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. And that, I'll try to clean that up a little bit, but for the most part, that is our comic book Rose, and it turned out really cool. All right, well, I think this turned out really cool, guys. I do think I might do a little digging and get some of the bigger stems. Twisting them all up works, but it's a lot more extra extra steps if you're gonna make a bunch of these. I mean, I don't really have any other use for those, so I'll probably go ahead and twist them all up and use them up. But I think in the future I would get the heavier gauge for sure, especially with the finish on it. I do think that you would still have to add a little bit up to the top of the flower, because even if you had the bigger stem, it's still gonna have that transition, and you want to kind of cover this part up. So a little tape isn't too big of a deal, but doing the whole thing is kind of annoying. And the fact that I got the wrong size, live and learn, I suppose. But for the most part, it turned out really good. And this is the first one we did. Showed at the beginning of the video. It doesn't look bad, but I think I got the glue, something didn't get quite straight, so we got that big gap there, so it just makes it look like it's more open. But I like that tight look. I can make it all like stop being a little shaky. There we go. That looks really cool, and you can kind of see there was one petal. Oh, it's hard to see now. Like, it's like it got the guy's head perfectly on that petal. But yeah, kind of a fun project. Make a bunch of those and put them in a vase of some sort. Look kind of cool. And then I was also trying to think of a way to take it to another step. This one here that doesn't have any tape on it was one I made as an experiment, and I sprayed it with clear polyurethane, and it gave it a little bit more shine, but I don't know, it doesn't, I think it makes the paper more brown looking, and for the amount of effort it is to spray and dry and, you know, go through all that, plus I think it took some of the curve out of the petals, like that one, so it doesn't really look like a rose anymore. I don't know what, just a, I mean, it's obviously a flower, but not a big gain for the amount of effort you have to put into it. So I would say stick with the paper, but if you're looking for like a gloss finish type look, I would definitely check out like a craft store and go into their like paper section where they have all the nice decorative like paper that you would use for bookmaking and that type of stuff. That could probably produce a pretty cool looking flower as well. But like I said, I'm a nerd, and I had some old books from a project I used, and can't throw anything away, so I gotta make the most of all this stuff. So I got a lot of flower making to do here apparently. So I got, you know, I don't know, almost a whole comics book worth of paper to use up. So yeah, I think it turned out cool. I hope you guys liked it. But for now, I think that's gonna call it for this video, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for some more cool crafts or whatever crazy stuff. Talk to you later, guys. Put your flower in your hair. Yes, it's the new style paper